Hey, everybody. You are listening to Sunday Money, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts and also brought to you by Hercules Tires. There's not a whole lot to talk about this week, except the one glaring thing that we're going to try not to talk about too much because it was a black eye for everybody in the sport, I believe. What do you think there, Daryl?
I agree with you.
I'm glad that you and I agree on something. So might as well just kick it off and just address it. I was in that Monza Madness race that Landon Castle put on. It was on NASCAR.com. A lot of IndyCar guys, some NASCAR guys. There was like 62 cars that started this race. So Larson was obviously in it. That was when this thing all happened. We were practicing. So there was only like 15 to 20 guys in like what would be the session at that point in time because people were kind of popping in and out. And everybody was trying to figure out how to get their spotter audio hooked up. So Larson had his buddy or whatever, and he was on the main chat asking how to get onto the private channel. And he was asking over everybody, and Landon was explaining it, running it through the steps of how to do it, what to click. So everybody's going around. There's only like 25 people at this point in time, but there was probably 15 people streaming it already, and people already watching it, right? Connor Daly has a large Twitch following. Landon has a large Twitch following. And Larson did 2 or 3 like mic checks before this. Hey, guys. Hey, can you hear me? So he was trying to get him and his spotter on the same private channel. And that's when he said what he said. And that's when Anthony Alfredo, I think, was the first to respond like, hey, man, you're talking to everybody here. And I'm sure that's when his stomach dropped all the way to his feet. And he realized he said that for however many thousands of people to hear. And then everything took to Twitter, and then that small spark turned into a complete wildfire that, talking about it here Wednesday or Tuesday morning, has essentially derailed Kyle Larson's career for the time being. So not a good thing for him, not a good thing for the sport. I hate it for the media to even have to talk about it. I hate it for him. I hate it for everybody affected or offended. It's just a bad situation.
Well said, Corey. Well said.
I mean, I don't really know. I don't really want to dabble in it too much. But unfortunately, McDonald's and Credit One and Clover, I think, are all forcing Chip's hand to make a change. Seems like, I mean, if there's nobody sponsoring his car, it doesn't seem very probable that 42 is going to be running with Larson in it. I don't know what that looks like. Hopefully, I don't know. It's certainly unprecedented territory when it comes to somebody that caliber of a driver to have a comment like that pretty much derail his whole career, especially the timing of it with where we are right now as a society. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody's looking for a story to write. Everybody's looking for sports to talk about. And then also in timing for Larson with I know you probably don't agree, Daryl, but he's probably the most sought-after free agent since Carl Edwards was leaving Roush. I don't know what year that was, but he was in line.
Was the most sought-after free agent.
That's what I'm saying. He was. And he was in line to have a very sizable deal for many years with probably a championship caliber winning team for the first time in his NASCAR Cup career. So not favorable for him, the timing of this, nor the situation. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, really. I mean, What do you think, Daryl? I don't really want your opinion because you're probably the subtweeter that's saying your opinion every which way. But
No, I think it's unfortunate, but I think it's a good learning thing for children, for drivers, for grown-ups. There's consequences in all situations, in all jobs. Nobody on this stream, from Alexa to Lauren to me to you, we'd be in the same situation if we were in that situation. So it's part of life. And I think we've seen other drivers come back from very controversial moments in their careers. And if he wants to make a comeback, hopefully he'll get that opportunity. But I don't disagree with his sponsors. They had to make a business decision. And I think the best thing NASCAR could do, which is basically what they did, is sit it out the rest of the year, and maybe we'll see you next year.
they haven't said that he sat out the whole rest of the year. They just said he's indefinitely suspended.
So hopefully that's for the rest of the season, and come back next year, and we'll see where everything's at. Because, like you said, it just puts everybody in a bad situation. If you guys have been online, I think the worst part of it is probably Kyle and his family, but all the people that have come out of the woodwork on both sides of this has been kind of troubling.
Yeah. Well, it gives everybody a platform to speak their opinion on the matter. And the tough part is Kyle Larson is a race car driver, but he's also an ambassador and a spokesperson for those companies that are giving Chip Ganassi Racing millions and millions of dollars. So, they have to distance themselves from him from just a split second of lapse judgment, or I guess just a poor choice on his behalf on what he said. And I think that all the decisions with everybody, whether it be sponsors and fans in the sport, I think is all warranted. But yeah, like you said, I think you said it best, where it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience for him, for all the other drivers to know that word is never okay to say, ever, in any context, whether you think it's in private, whether you think you're around a group of friends, it's never okay to say, and it shouldn't be in your vocabulary, whether you're saying a tongue-in-cheek or lighthearted or whatever context it is. It's never a good word to say, ever. And also just to be more aware, especially with young kids, young drivers that are trying to be in the limelight, to always be aware that somebody's listening. And you have to always expect anything that you say can come back and be turned against you. So you have to be aware of your tongue, because the Bible says, man, the tongue has the power of life and death. And you're seeing the death of Kyle Larson's career for the foreseeable future just because of his tongue. And I'm sure that he's feeling the effects. He's going to feel the effects for years to come, just because it's going to be hard to shake that label. But I do think Kyle is a good enough person, and he's good enough behind the wheel to overcome it eventually with time, when he does the right things, because he will. It's just a pretty tough time for him and his family and everybody involved right now.
I do have a couple questions. I would like to know what Lauren and Alexa think. Nothing crazy, just like what your thoughts were, because everybody in our industry was texting each other all day yesterday, because it was a shocking day, and we've spent our careers in the sport. I was just wondering your thoughts.
I mean, it's just disappointing. Like, all around. I mean, it is. I, like Kyle Larson, have always had great interactions with him, and it's disappointing that he said that. It's disappointing that he's going to feel the repercussions of this, like both of you guys have said, for who knows how long. I feel for his family a lot. Like, I mean, I think that's the thing that you have to think about. Like, I put myself in his wife's shoes I would be devastated if my husband said something like that. And it's going to, I would feel for the emotions that he's going to feel, obviously getting dropped and his life changing completely. Yeah, it sucks. And it sucks that he said that, truthfully. Yeah. It really does. And on a video game. Like, that's really what sucks, is it wasn't even like it was in a real race. Not that any of it makes it any better, but I said to you guys on our little text thread right before, I said, I think it's time for all of us to get back to men getting back to doing man things like mowing the grass and grilling chicken. And I think that's probably what Kyle Larson should have been doing.
And making beef jerky.
Yeah, instead of playing video games.
I mean, playing video games the last 2 weeks has damaged the image of Bubba pretty bad, and it's obviously probably close to irreparably damaged Kyle Larson's reputation. So I don't know what it is about video games bring out the worst of people. That's why I try to stay away from them.
Yeah.
What about you, Alexa?
I mean, I feel the same. Obviously, that is something that never should be said by anybody, and I think it's unfortunate that he said it. I don't think he meant it. I think it just was a mistake. But in my mind, it's absolutely crazy that 2 drivers are now dealing with very serious consequences because of a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think Kyle Larson's a bad person. He's always been very helpful whenever we've asked anything of him, and he's always been polite and nice. So I don't think that's his opinion on other people. I think it was just a mistake. But unfortunately, it's going to cost him.
You said something that I don't know. You said I don't know why when people are iRacing in particular, they are doing things or saying things that they wouldn't normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are alone in your man cave, in your basement, in your living room. You got your headset on. You're just driving a race car. You just think that you're all alone in your thoughts and your words, and you just don't realize the amount of reach when it comes to people streaming on Twitch, or I don't know. I think that you would just do things out of really quick temper, or just I don't know. I guess if it's just I don't know. I think that being in a private setting, not having anybody around, not feeling like you're being listened to or watched directly, I feel like it kind of lets people put their guard down a little bit, and in turn, probably, as you're seeing, makes people do things that they probably wouldn't normally do if their guard was up. And whether or not that's, their true character, it's hard to say. Don't want to assume. But there was mistakes made by Bubba 2 weeks ago, and obviously Larson on Sunday night with what should have just been a lighthearted race, which was just fun because it was just going to be a wreck fest anyways, because there was no cautions and no damage. It was just a race to get everybody together, take their mind off of it, and just smash into cars. And it turned into something that has crumbled Kyle Larson's life, really. Every aspect of it, his life revolves around racing. And over the last 36 hours, he's lost the majority of that. So he's certainly going to learn from it. And I do think he will get through it. The fans will rally around him eventually. And he will do stuff to hopefully earn forgiveness. And we all can move on as a sport, because Ryan McGee wrote a good article on ESPN just about how NASCAR has been trying to roll this stone of integration and diversity up this massive hill for the last 15, 20 years to try to shed the stereotypes of what NASCAR was supposedly built on. And I thought that everybody thought that we were making good headway until something like this happens, and then it rolls the stone almost back down to the bottom, and they can pull up the old YouTube videos of certain governors or the Rebel 500 and stuff like that. They can pull those clips, even though we're decades removed. People can clump us right back into that story, and we as a sport need to probably do a better job consciously of just being better in that aspect, whether or not you say certain things. I think everybody should be more aware of how they treat everybody in the garage, no matter what color you are.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say on it than.
Well, there's a lot more
Paul
to
said.
say, but we're not going to say anymore.
Yeah, I think this might be a good time to take our first break. What do you guys think?
I
Back
agree.
with happier things.
I will toe the company line if that is what we're doing.
Daryl,
I'm in.
for God's sakes.
Yeah, we're welcome back to Sunday Money. We have been fighting like cats and dogs during the break. There is dissension in this family, and it all surrounds around how Lauren is raising Poppy. During coronavirus, we don't feel that fingers should be anywhere near your mouth, Poppy. You need to wash your hands for 2 happy birthdays. Get your fingers out of your mouth, Poppy.
Yeah, you nasty.
Well, that's back to NASCAR news. Corey, you love these topics. It's Hall of Fame time again. Inductees have been announced.
I love these. I love these topics because I understand what you consider somebody is worthy of the Hall of Fame, or what makes somebody a good race car driver or not.
By the way, I'm not alone. You forget, I'm literally around race fans every weekend when it's not coronavirus. So we talk racing all weekend. I'm not the only one that feels this way about the drivers that you think I don't like. Just so
What do they know, Daryl? What do a bunch of race fans know?
Let's hear who the nominees are. Alexa, who are the
Yes.
winners?
So they changed it for this year. There's only going to be 3 people into the Hall of Fame. Normally there's been 5.
Because of Daryl's opinion. This is what he said last year, is that they were letting too many people in.
He's a
I
prophet.
did say that last year.
So now it's 2 people from the modern era list and 1 person from the pioneer list. So on the modern era, you have Neil Bonnet, Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, Harry Gant, Harry Hyde, Larry Phillips, Ricky Rudd, Kirk Shelmerdine, and Mike Stefanik.
All right, stop right there.
Okay.
All right, Daryl.
Yeah.
Who are 2 names off that list that are going to go in on your ballot?
Carl Edwards. Harry Gant. My picks.
Not Dale Jr.?
No.
He doesn't deserve it?
Just turned like 39 or 42, or how old is he?
Probably like 45.
Age doesn't matter. What qualifies you to get into the Hall of Fame or not?
Carl Edwards, Harry Gant. What say you?
My opinion of somebody who should have the honor to get into the Hall of Fame, or any Hall of Fame in any sport, is somebody who has left the sport a better place after they left than what they did when they got there, right?
I can't hear you. You have a little Dale Jr. on your chin. Sorry, can you clear your mouth?
Yeah. Let me wipe that off right quick. So a guy like, I don't want to blast Carl Edwards because he was a badass race car driver. But he took and he took and he took and then he left. Deuces.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Kept no equity in the sport. If he want, I'm good with spending family time. I'm good with taking your money and running. But to completely leave the fan base high and dry, whether it be that he left Gibbs high and dry, a lot of people on the hook, and when he decided to up and leave without a really heads up that he was going to retire.
And no explanation afterwards.
No explanation afterwards. I don't know if he's being Amish, living in Missouri, wherever he's living, but does he by accolades deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Maybe one day, not the first ballot. I'm a big Harry Gant fan. Big Harry Gant fan. I don't know if he's on my ballot this year, especially being only down to 2 from the modern era. Mm-hmm. I also don't. What qualifies somebody as the modern era versus a pioneer? Is there a certain?
No kidding.
Is there a certain year? Because so here's my 2. Dale Jr. because his impact on the sport. If Dale Jr. wasn't around, the sport would look way different. To this day, it would still look way different. And then I'm looking at some. Well, I'm between Harry Gant or Harry Hyde. If I had to pick a Harry, I don't know which Harry I'd pick. I don't know. Mr. September. Hey,
It says here for the Pioneer ballot, it is considered designed to honor those whose careers began more than 60 years ago. So for the class of 2021, prior to 1961.
Okay. That makes sense. So one of your ballot members, Daryl, do you know his nickname? If you don't
Nails.
know his nickname, then you shouldn't know.
Nails.
What?
Nails.
No.
Ricky Rudd.
No.
Nails.
Talking about Harry Gant. Harry Gant's nickname was Mr. September because he won every race in September.
Ricky Rudd's nickname is Nails because he's tough as nails.
Ricky Rudd is a tough SOB, 100%.
All Jeff Burton gave us was a whiny rich kid in a Supra tearing up Lake Norman.
Easy.
Oh boy, Daryl.
I actually like Harrison Burton, but seriously, Jeff didn't win a race for the last 4 years of his career, and it took him 20 years to even get the wins he had.
My favorite Jeff Burton career moment was when he wrecked Jeff Gordon or caution at Texas and they got in a fist fight. That was awesome.
Man, slapping each other.
Yeah. I'm going to go. So my two for the modern era would be Dale Jr., just because his impact while he was driving and while he's in the booth. And I'm going to go with Harry Hyde. Harry Hyde.
Okay.
Who do you got? Lauren, Alexis?
Honestly, I didn't pay attention to NASCAR before I started working in it, so I'm gonna go with Dale Jr. and everybody seems to like Harry Gant, so sure.
Okay.
Alexa.
I would say, I think Dale Jr. just because, I mean, he was 15-time most popular driver. I mean, even if he didn't win a championship, there are other things that I feel like he did, especially considering what happened at the beginning of his career with his dad and everything like that. So I would say Dale Jr. and I am in between Harry Gant and Mike Stefanik.
Nice.
I like that. And I'll tell you, somebody who doesn't get the credit probably that they deserve when it comes to really good crew chiefs would be Kirk Shelmerdine. I don't think he's getting a whole lot of Hall of Fame love when it comes to that, but Kirk Shelmerdine was a good crew chief. So now we move on to the Pioneer ballot.
Yes, we have.
Jake Elder,
Mhm.
Jake Elder, Red Farmer, Banjo Matthews, Herschel McGriff, Ralph Moody. Do you know any of those names, Daryl?
Banjo, because I like the name.
Banjo Matthews. We like Banjo, don't we, Lauren? Yeah, Banjo Matthews. What do you think, Lauren?
I'm gonna go with Jake Elder. Do you know who Jake Elder is, Daryl?
No.
Jake Elder, Suitcase Jake Elder, was a crew chief crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, crew chief for Darrell Waltrip, crew chief for David Pearson. He is infamous for his saying to telling Dale Earnhardt during his rookie year, he said, "Stick with me, kids. We'll be wearing diamonds as big as horse turds."
Corey, you really are missing your calling. You should have a video series called Once Upon a Time with Corey LaJoy.
So my idea, and I've never really like put any effort towards it. I would love to do like sit around, social distance with like 4 or 5 people and watch an old race and just commentate it drunk, like Drunk History, like the show on whatever it is, Comedy Central. Do like drunk race fans, and just commentate like old North Wilkesboro race. I would love to do that with
Corey, that is how people do sponsorships. So I don't recommend you do that.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody would say something on there that probably would probably be pretty ill advised, especially when alcohol is involved. We all make bad decisions.
Yeah. You know a lot of old timey history though. Does your dad get interested at this time of year? Does he comment on who's in the Hall of Fame or who the inductees are?
No, I mean, we don't really. I guess I could ask him about that, but we don't really talk about that a whole lot.
Has he said "I love you" in 2020?
Probably, because when you have a kid, it's an emotional experience. So I'm sure one kind of slipped out, and he's like, "Oh man, I made a mistake."
Yep.
You did one thing right, son. Finally.
Yeah. So we went over to their house on Easter. Probably didn't social distance as good as we should. We tried to stay somewhere away, but it's hard to keep your grandparents away from your kids, man.
Yep.
So that was the interaction that Dad's got with little man. So they're already best buddies.
That's sweet.
Yeah, your dad said it's like the son he wished he had.
I think he did say something about that, but yeah, he gets a do over. He gets to be nice to this one.
So what other did we cover all the inductees? What else is there? There's one more.
There's really not a whole lot of talk.
I think that's it. 3 doesn't seem like enough to me. How many were we inducting last year? 5?
Like 12, I feel like.
I feel like a lot.
I think maybe we should have gone with 4 because 3 just doesn't seem like enough.
And we change it every year. Some years 1, some years like 7.
Agreed. You have to really earn it some years.
Yeah. Like prime number years, you gotta. It's like a prime
Let's
number.
get really confused.
Or a 3. Yeah. I think whatever number.
You think Dale Earnhardt's going to win? Dale Earnhart.
Yeah, just because of the positive impact he's left in the sport and still back a lot. You know, he's got his Xfinity team where he employs however many people. He's on TV for fans to still be engaged with him. So I think that, his whole life has been NASCAR, right? And he was a successful driver, and now he's a successful broadcaster. I think that, why not? NASCAR certainly would look different if Dale Jr. wasn't involved. I don't think the sport right now has missed Carl Edwards a whole lot, but the sport would absolutely miss Dale Earnhardt Jr. if he wasn't here.
Yeah, best looking NASCAR drivers, Hall of Fame, Carl Edwards goes in for sure, like first year. But just the regular NASCAR Hall of Fame, I don't know.
Maybe they should make a calendar of like NASCAR Hall of Fame shirtless nominees.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that.
Carl Edwards doesn't get his due.
He'll be all right.
You agree he deserves to be in it though, right, Corey? Just maybe not this year.
So breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Statement from Chip Ganassi Racing. After much consideration, Chip Ganassi Racing has determined that it will end its relationship with driver Kyle Larson. As we said before, the comments that Kyle made were both offensive and unacceptable, especially given the values of our organization. We continue to evaluate the situation of all relevant parties. It became obvious that this was the only appropriate course of action to take.
Yikes.
That's a lesson. That is a lesson to everybody.
Corey, do you want us to hold on while you quickly call Chip Ganassi?
I'm not like, people were, I guess, picking fun or whatever. Oh, yeah, Corey's going to write a letter to Chip Ganassi now. I'm not preying on somebody's, misfortune. I guess it's not misfortune, but somebody's situation, if it's meant to be, whatever, it'll work out. But obviously, the natural choice is Ross to put in that thing. He's cheap and he's available, and I don't know if he's still signed with Chip, but
yeah, good old cheap Ross Chastain.
I mean, he is cheap. He's cheap. He saves some money. I'm in the payroll department, but it's just not a good situation for anybody. It put Chip Ganassi in a hard spot, put his partners in a bad spot, and now Larson obviously put himself in a bad spot. With what he said, and he's obviously paying the price for it. And I'm sure that he'll learn and hopefully he gets out on the other side. And we're called not to judge, so obviously I'm not going to judge, and eventually he's going to get back on the other side of it. But hopefully the fans and anybody who's been affected or offended can eventually forgive him, because that's what we're called to do.
Would you be interested in racing over there? Is that an organization you're interested in?
Well, why not? I mean, I know a lot of guys over there. They have really good mechanics and they have pretty good cars with those Hendrick motors. So, I don't know. There's free agency. I feel like it's gonna be pretty crazy this year, but I don't know who's saying. I just want to get back to the damn racetrack as soon as possible now and get my 32 Go Fast guys Ford Mustang going. That's what I'm excited about.
Corey LaJoy says he is interested in the 42 seat.
Stop it. Why wouldn't you be? If you're a race car driver, of course you're interested in that. It's a good car. It's a good, reputable team to be with. But, anybody who says they're not interested in that's lying. But right now I'm content and happy with where I'm at. I think we've had a good start to the year, and I'm excited to jam in these other, where are we at, 31 races left in the year or something. And I think our 32 team's going to be strong as ever, because we got a little bit of time to kind of catch our breath and catch up on cars, and hopefully we can keep digging like we have been.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Crazy, man. It's crazy times. Crazy times.
Boy, 2020 is turning out to be a real rager.
No kidding.
Something. Or a real bummer. Depends what you're looking at. Man. Just sucks, man. It sucks for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Do what?
Have we known other drivers, though, that have been let go? Have you known anybody personally that's been let go mid-season before, Corey? I don't either.
Yeah, I don't recall any situation like this. And it's so unique with just the way it's handled, which is the way it's probably had to be handled on everybody's part. It just puts everybody in a situation that you wish they didn't have to be put in. I think everybody can agree to that. Just sucks, man.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't happen to you. So you don't need to be too sad about it.
Huh?
It didn't happen to you. You don't need to be too sad about it. Said, good job.
I am sad because it's sad for the sport. It just puts the sport in a bad light when when it wasn't meant to, and it was a split-second lapse of judgment. And one little spark set off a forest fire that we're all paying for, but obviously not near as much as what Larson is. But the sport itself is going to have to take a little bit of time to recover from this as well. So it's just nobody wins. Nobody. Even the person who they put in the 42 car doesn't win because it's tainted, right? It's just a bad situation. Nobody wants to be dealing with this, especially under the circumstances, and just it is what it is, man. Hopefully everybody can come out the backside of this thing. Just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
repairable.
It's like when Lauren decided to cut her hair short. It was a split-second decision, and she paid the price for that for a while, didn't you, Lauren?
Excuse me, Daryl. I like my do.
Not now. The time you had it really short.
Oh, then. No, I liked it then too. I don't know what was wrong with me.
A lot of people cutting bangs now in quarantine, and let me tell you, bad idea.
You know, I'm really shocked. This is just completely turning this thing around. I'm really shocked at the amount of guys that are willing to allow their wives or girlfriends to cut their hair. Because there's no way that Andrew would allow me to do that.
What about you?
And I'm the boss in this house. I am the boss, and there is absolutely no way that he would let me do that.
If I wear a hat, it's kind of tame, but it's long and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have to go back to work how they left quarantine for 1 week.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Now post
I'm not getting a haircut.
real-time Tinder.
I don't think I'm gonna get a haircut all year.
Exactly.
2020, the year of no haircut.
They're gonna start calling you the Lion, Corey the Lion.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
what do we have
take,
next?
We gotta take one more break and we can read some reviews.
Okay.
And we're back. We are back. Do you have any reviews picked out, Daryl? I got one.
Sure.
From K Willie 28, 5 stars. My go-to. By far my favorite podcast for racing next to Dirt Birds and North Clear. Corey, you're killing it, my man. Now that Larson's a goner, you're my number one. Daryl Lick, you're a dick and makes the show interesting. Lauren is effing hilarious. What a review.
Wow.
That was good stuff.
Good pick, Corey.
Yeah. How about the one from Red and Black, Daryl?
Jeez.
Okay, iRacing. I a million times agree, or 100,000 times agree with, I don't know how many zeros that is, agree with Corey. iRacing is just a video game. I keep telling people who say this is good racing that it is good entertainment, but not good racing. So I agree with you, Corey.
Yeah. And then we have another one. This is my favorite one from Captain Kyle. It's good. 5 stars. Yeehaw.
We'll take it.
Thanks for the review there, Captain Kyle. And we have our clutch performer of the week. Who do you think our clutch performer of the week?
You sound so sad, Corey.
What do you mean?
You just sound bumming, man.
I mean, I'm a little gutted, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry, bud.
I mean, hey, I call Kyle Larson a friend. My friend just got fired. That's where it's at. You know, it's like it's probably warranted for the thing, for his actions, but my buddy got fired, and I feel for him. That's where I'm at. But who do we think clutch performer of the week is?
Clutch performer of the week. How about the men and women on the front lines in the hospitals around the country that are making sure we're safe, and they're going into work every day to continue doing that for us is amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Clutch Performer of the Week is brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina. You can order Clutch Coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to your house. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com if you want some coffee. That's where we're at.
It's also O'Reilly Auto Parts. It is a breakfast. Start again. It is the Break Bundle. What?
It's
Corey?
It's lunchtime. It's not breakfast. Lunchtime.
It is the Break Best Bundle 15% off. Break Best Bundle 15% off. O'Reilly Auto Parts will help make your auto repair, maintenance, and restoration projects easier. So when your car isn't stopping like it used to, the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help you find the brake parts and supplies you need to get the job done right the first time. Now, for a limited time, save 15% when you buy any set of Brake Best pads and 2 Brake Best rotors. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Speaking of parts, are you working on your Barracuda?
No, it's at It's in my dad's shop, and I haven't been over there very much because I'm trying to quarantine because they're still working over there building safety products. So, and I also don't have any money right now, really. All my money's spent, so I don't have any money to buy any parts for it anyway. So it's better for me to just leave it over there because if I start working on it, then I'm gonna have to start buying stuff for it. I don't want to do that.
Are you not getting paid?
Ready to go race. Huh?
Are you getting paid?
I don't know about this month, but I did last month.
Yeah, you got a hospital bill coming in soon.
I already paid. That one hurt real bad.
Yep.
Yeah, that was swipe the credit card thing was smoking after that. Yeah, having a kid is not cheap. Everybody take note.
No, it's not. All those cranberry juices that I was drinking while I was in labor cost. They added up real quick.
Yeah.
Lauren, before we go, do you want to tell us about your anniversary? I wanted to say happy anniversary to you and Andrew.
Oh yeah, here's my groom right here.
What does a couple do to celebrate their anniversary in quarantine?
You order pizza and you eat it while your baby is sleeping, taking a little nighttime nappy. And what did we do? That's it.
How many years? 2 years?
2 whole years of marriage.
Which year has been better, Andrew? The first year or the second year?
Both.
You can't choose.
Good answer.
I would say the second year because now I have Poppy to talk to because Andrew doesn't talk to me otherwise.
And that's Sunday Money for week 2.
Another
April.
Wow, I can't believe we're still doing this.
Me neither. Well, as long as people give us topics to still ramble on about, well, I guess we'll keep talking. But hopefully we have some lighter-hearted subjects next week, shall we?
Yeah, happier.
Maybe something
Happier
next
to
week
talk
too.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Everybody be safe out there tuning in.
Good stuff.